Hey, welcome. Hey, this is Big Lab.
Yeah, we're in the lab today.
Big Lab today.
A little bit of what we've been working on.
Cool stuff.
Secret inside track.
Secrets.
Yeah.
I like secrets.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And we're going to be able to do all kinds of stuff with this machine back here. We want to show you. We haven't shown you a whole lot of machines like this before.
We've been doing a lot of lectures, a lot of graphs, a lot of tables.
A lot of tables. And so we've got tables here, but they're more chromographs.
Yeah.
That we're going to do. So this is the Pure99 behind us.
Yep.
This is a full-on chromatography unit that kicks ass.
Yeah.
And we're going to just kind of do a walkthrough of that today, and just kind of show you a little bit about what is unique about this machine. Dr. John has done this forever, right?
Forever.
Did you say that one key element of this machine was on your original PhD dissertation?
It was, yeah.
Chapter 4, as I recall.
Yeah, chapter 4.
Chapter 4. He's finally proven it.
Yeah.
How many years later?
Many years later, over 20.
Oh, wow, over 20.
Well, it's all right. Whatever. It happens.
He's so excited. All right. So, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I guess what we can do is just kind of go through the system. First of all, a lot of people want to use chromatography for THC remediation. So what is THC remediation? We'll start there, right?
Sure, absolutely.
First of all, THC remediation is when you remove the THC from the oil. Typically, you'd have a little bit of THC and you'd have a lot of CBD, or you'd have a little bit of THC and you'd have a lot of CBN or something like that. And you want to be able to separate those out into two different locations. And so you can throw away the THC and make a nice, what they call broad spectrum CBD.
So you're taking a full spectrum distillate, really, and you're removing or weeding out the THC to give you broad spectrum. Right. So really, full spectrum is, as we've always talked about, is the terpenes, all of the cannabinoid profile, and the THC, right, that's in there at 0.3%, 0.3% or below.
Right.
But when you remediate that out, now you have broad spectrum, and the only thing that's removed is the THC.
Right, exactly. So that's why people like it, because they have all of the other stuff that's in a plant, but then they don't have the THC in there. And that's why people like it. They like to be able to take that as a natural supplement or a natural remedy and not have to worry about THC in their system. So when you get a broad spectrum, oil, that's what it's going to be. Now, one thing to note here is detection. And a lot of times what they do is they will say that it's a THC non-detect.
Right.
That's because it's improper, according to the FDA, to talk about it as THC free.
Correct.
Because there's always a little tiny bit of THC in there. And if there's a little bit in there, depending on your detector, if you get a better detector, you can always see something.
Yeah, even if there's an infinitesimal amount of THC,
right,
they say it's there, so you can't say that it's T-free, which is what the market has called it forever.
Right.
The T-free, THC-free, but the nomenclature that the FDA wants is THC-ND or THC non-detect.
Right. Which a lot of people get confused about that. It's not very intuitive.
I've had people say, "Hey, what's ND? Is that a new
North
type
Dakota?
Of, no, yeah. Is that the THC from North Dakota, right? Or is it a new version of THC?
Right.
No, it's just non-detect.
Yeah.
That's the correct nomenclature.
So let's get started on giving you a walkthrough tour of the Pure99. So what the Pure99 does, again, is it does THC remediation. Let me just be quickly, before we go into there real quick, we can also do other separations of other minor cannabinoids. So depending on what you guys want to do, if you want to separate out, for example, CBN from THC, that's also another very popular separation. So let's get started on this. It's not just limited to only one application. What a chromatography system does is it separates out molecules from each other and puts them into different containers. That's what it does.
Oh, we're done.
That's it.
That's it.
So you have a sample, and the sample is a fluid, and it's all mixed up together. and it's mixed together, and they're in the same container, right?
Yeah.
And what it does is it moves it and puts it into 2 separate containers. Let me show you the beautiful separate containers here.
Separate container.
These are the separate containers. Okay. So if I'm going to take a jar of material and I want to take the THC out and put it into this container and take the CBD out and put it into this container, this is the machine for you. That's what it will do. So it's a little bit different than extraction. Extraction just removes everything, basically. It removes all the, you know, in the case of CO2 extraction, it's removing the oils from the biomass, right?
Correct. Yep.
But in this case, it's actually a little bit more nuanced because it's actually, you know, separating out the THC from
It takes that oil that has been extracted,
right,
and separates that even further to THC,
yeah,
CBD, and other cannabinoid
right,
profile, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so let's go back here again. I keep on jumping ahead. I'm just like excited about this.
It is exciting.
This is where the fluid is chilled down. And you can see this is where the fluid is chilled down, essentially.
Oh, my finger's stuck. No.
And yeah,
Don't lick it.
put your tongue on that. Go ahead, put your tongue on that. It's actually -10.
Oh.
So it probably would stick.
Yeah.
And you would be there.
Yeah.
We got to get a picture of
The Christmas story, right?
exactly.
Stuck on the playground.
Okay. Yeah, so it comes in here and then it goes into the pumps. These pumps here are very reliable pumps. It's a triplex pump. Okay. And then this is the outlet to that pump. And then that goes into this system here, which is the chromatography column. This is where all the magical happens. Okay. You inject
I think
a
that
sample.
there's magic happening everywhere.
Yeah,
on this.
I suppose so.
I'm still looking at the pump.
Yeah, the pumps are cool.
Yeah, but each one of those, I mean, this is like the pump that's on the CO2 extractor.
Yep.
Too.
The 180 has 2 of these pumps.
Has 2
This
of
has
them.
got 3 of them. The reason we use 3 of them is not so much that we're going high flow rate. We're actually making sure the pressure pulsations are really, really low.
Ah.
So we have that's why we have those pumps, and just they're tuned and geared such that they are not spiking in the pressure. So we want a nice fluid flow, and that'll give us a nice fluid flow for chromatography.
That's very cool. See, magic. I'm telling you.
There's also pressure dampeners on there that are high-end pressure dampeners, of course. And then this is the injector here. And what that allows you to do right here, that allows you to basically inject a small sample, say anywhere from 50 to 200 grams of the material onto this column here. And the way it does that is it uses a pump, and the pump is always circulating. And when that valve turns on, it switches it from the sample pump, which pushes the sample onto the column, away from that pump. And then when it turns off, that pump turns and starts to push fluid through, and the sample pump no longer pushes it through. Okay, so it's adding sample to the column.
To the column. And the column is where the real magic to the machine happens.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's when it's really separating out from that jar.
Correct.
To put the THC over here, put the CBD over here,
yeah,
run it through again. You can even, if you want the methodologies, you can separate out other cannabinoids.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's basically it. Now this is what they call dynamically packed or dynamic axial column. This pressure is always pushing up. It's never not pushing up. In this case, it's got about 700 psi. It's pushing up. This is a 13.5 centimeter diameter column. This entire column is filled up with material. And yeah, so we do that so that we can add a lot of a high injection amount onto the column. So that's what you want. You want to be able to inject a lot of grams onto the column and then get them out of the column in a very short time. That's what the pumping system does, and that's what the column does.
So the column includes all the media that's inside it that you're dripping through the top, and it goes through that media and then pulls it through.
Right, yeah. So here's THC and here's CBD. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, there it is. The THC is coming out first, and then we can throw that into this vessel, and then the CBD comes out, and then it goes into this vessel.
Ah.
So they're actually separated out in time on that column.
Okay, and did you see what I did? I just readily assumed it was going this way, down. It's going.
It's actually going up.
It's
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
See, more magic.
There it is. Yes.
I love it.
So anyway, yeah, so it goes from the top to the bottom, or the bottom to the top, excuse me. And then we have a detector out here that we placed it. Usually it's inside of this box here, but we brought it out here for your purposes, just for you guys, just so that we could show you, hey, here's what's inside of the box. That's also where the magic occurs. And that's really where the materials, when they come off the column, they go right into the detector, and they are said, okay, something's coming off of the detector. So that's what, something's coming off of the column. And by the way, now I need to switch this over here because I think THC is coming off here. And then, oh, hey, wait, CBD is coming off. I need to switch it over.
So the detector says, okay, what the hell is this? Oh, it's this. This is where it goes.
Yeah.
All right. And this box is a C1D2.
Yeah. So all of the equipment on this skid is essentially a C1D2 piece of equipment. And what's nice about that is you are able to use different kinds of solvents, or solvents that are more hazardous to use. It gives you an added versatility. You can use water-based solvents, or you can use water ethanol, or what they call reverse phase solvents, but you can also use what they call normal phase solvents. And those are more volatile solvents. And usually what happens is you need to make sure your motors and all your electronics are protected, so that in the event of a leak, they don't explode. And so that's what a C1D2 modified and compliant machine is it's designed in such a way so that if there is a leak, it won't explode. So in this case,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So that in this case, all the electronics, all of the HMI here, all of the electronics in the back with all the electrical, it's all it all has C1D2 rating on it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, including the motors and all that. Okay.
More magic.
So, yeah, so it comes out and it's going to go into the detector. And then once it comes out of that detector, then it goes into one of these three columns. Now, you guys have heard us talk about the fractron. And the fractron is basically a falling film evaporator or a trickle reactor. We have trickle reactors and falling film. We're the only company in the whole entire industry that does both trickle reactors and falling films. Why is that the case? Because it works. It works better.
It works.
It works way better. So you use a bulk. You use a falling film for a not very viscous fluid, and then you use a trickle reactor for a super viscous fluid. So that's typically what you would do, like a second and third pass on a falling film. Instead of plugging up your falling film, we use trickle reactors that don't plug up. It's just the value that we add.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure everybody will be copying us now. Okay, so here we got the fluids. They come in here. Basically, the fluid comes in here, and then it hits this reactor here, and it's warm. I can put my hand on that, so it's not so warm that you would get burned. But there's approximately about 48 watts of kilowatts, in fact, of heating capacity in this falling film. So it's actually evaporating out all of the solvent, and then it's putting it over here. It's condensing here. So that's
so this one's warm back here.
Yep.
And this one's cold.
Right.
So you can feel that.
Yeah. This one's cold. This is like minus 10. Yeah, and this is like 50 or 60 degrees Celsius.
Okay. So I can lick that one. I can't lick that one.
That's correct. That's correct. Although yes, so that is exactly what happens. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, so that is the chromatography system. The main claim to fame that we have. A lot of people have been, doing separations for a long time. It's in fact, THC CBD separations are easy to do.
Yeah, forever.
But we've been able to do it on a large scale. So instead of having, say, doing 10 micrograms every 10 minutes, we're doing now 200 grams or 100 grams every 10 minutes. So that can really speed things up. Now, the other thing that we are able to do with this is even speed it up even further with the use of this pump here. The pump, you can go faster. And when you go faster, you can just reduce your time even more. So that's the main things. It really gives you a lot of capability so that you can speed things up. Instead of doing 100 grams in say 10 minutes, now you're talking about a 5 or 6 minute time frame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really, it even cuts that even in half, even more. So
that's easy. You can easily get a kilo out of this
an
in
hour, yeah, something like that.
if you're
I
running
mean, yeah,
fast.
and a lot of people ask us, you know, what it is that, you know, how much can I put through it, right? And really, the answer depends on what you're putting into it. You know, so just like your clear still, or just like your you know, wipe film evaporator, right?
Yeah, right.
You can decide where your cuts are going to be, and with the decision of where those cuts are be, you can increase the purity or decrease the purity. Okay, it's the same exact way with this particular system. And if you have really super dirty stuff coming in with a lot of terpenes, and you know, that's why you have to do it more than once. You have to do a second pass. Okay. So there's a lot of great analogies between white film distillation and what you really need to do to make that happen. And in chromatography, there's a bunch of trade-offs.
Now, in this machine, I get asked a lot if we want to put through winterized oil or if we want to put through distillate. And that's exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, we would rather have distillate put in through the machine.
It's cleaner.
Yeah, because it's cleaner. You're taking something that's you know, maybe 60% potent, and you're bringing it up to 80% potent. You're getting rid of a lot of those waxes, fats, throwing them away so that they're not gumming up your system, and then you're doing the separation that way. So
yeah, that's a big thing. And the reason that these are jacketed is just to keep them warm or cold, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So what the purpose of this whole system is to recycle the solvent back to the beginning so that you're not using a lot of solvent. One of the main problems with chromatography systems today is simply that they use gargantuan amounts of solvent. Yeah. And whether you're talking about a, you know,
do you need to get that?
So anyway, whether you're talking about one particular solvent or another, if you have to, you know, have a whole separate, you know, room or permit or whatever just to deal with all the solvent, it's probably not viable as a scale-up method, right? Because the more you scale up, the more solvent you need, and at some point in time, you come up with.
And the primary solvent that we use with the Pure99 is all self-recycling.
Is all self-recycling, yeah, in the machine. So that's a very, very great innovation, not only for chromatography users in the THC remediation field, but also for chromatography users around the world, including pharmaceutical companies. Anybody who uses a normal phase separation, you know, this is probably a very, very helpful thing. If you're only doing water separations, it's not as helpful unless there's a volatile component that you need to, you know, separate.
Yeah, but even then, if you're using water, you can maybe get an ethanol water.
Yeah, you would be able to reclaim, for example, the ethanol. Yeah.
But that's still a water ethanol reclamation, and you still can't remove the water from the ethanol.
Right.
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 It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Impossible.
So yeah, using a falling film evaporator to do that separation is probably a really good thing. You may not get efficiencies. Well, right now, if you're running at 3 liters per minute with this system, you're talking about nearly 100% efficiency on recycle. If you're talking about going up to 5 liters or 7 liters a minute, it gets degraded to say 90%, something like that. You know, and it also depends on what your composition is of your mobile phase.
So the efficiency trade-off is how fast your throughput is. So if you want to scale up and you're just going for a quick THC remediation, that's what you're flowing through, and you want to just do that fast, then you're going to lose a little bit of solvent, and then you just make that monetary trade-off. Is that efficiency good enough for what you're doing?
So before we end here, why don't I just show you one quick separation and show you what it looks like. So this is a separation that we just completed. You say, hey, John, where's the separation? Well, in this case, you can't see it, but it's actually separating because we added so much onto the column that you don't actually see the separation. But the THC in this case comes out like right here. So right here, it comes up. This is all THC, and then it starts to come back down like this. And so what we do is we take this portion of the chromatogram, is what they call this, and we put it into this column right here. And then the rest of this peak right here, we would put into this other column right over there. So that's how we run the system. Let me show you an example of a chromatogram where you can see an actual separation. Okay, so this we're injecting a lot less onto the column, and this right here is your THC. This is just some stuff coming out from the sample. Okay, and then this right here is actually your CBD. So basically what you would do is you would chop this off right here. You take all this purified THC that's right here, and you would put it into this column right here. And then all the rest of that is pure CBD you'd put into this column right here.
Now, when you say pure CBD, is that the whole cannabinoid profile, or is that just CBD?
No, it's got a lot of other stuff in.
Okay, so it is the whole, all of the cannabinoids.
Right, right. So, and you could actually, this stuff doesn't have any THC in it either. You could put that in the first column, because that's the stuff, that's other plant material that's coming off of the column that you would want to save. So anyway, that's the bottom line, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. THC remediation, right? Separation of THC and CBD. You know, removal of THC from CBD. Talking about chromatography systems. Talking about flash chromatography systems. You know, those are the things that you need to be thinking about when you're thinking about remediation of THC.
This is a beautiful machine. Well done. I like it. This is brainchild. And this, you've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well done. Man.
Thank you. You guys, thanks. Take care, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye.
Are you stuck in your hemp or cannabis business? Are you not reaching your processing goals? Here at extraktLAB, we offer a free 20-minute CBD jam session. A CBD jam session is a conversation with an industry expert, not a sales call. A conversation where you can talk to us about whatever issues you are having right now and where you are stuck. We will help you uncover any issues you are currently having in your business, create a solution to fit your current scale, develop a future scale-up plan based on your needs, and help you make your processing goals a reality, all while getting your business plan back on track. Schedule your free 20-minute CBD jam session at 1-651-600-0036. Again, that number is 1-651-600-0036.